Hi, welcome back to Health Crash TV, the thinker's guide to reclaiming feeling young, sexy and sane. Today we're talking about energy. All the clients that come to see me, whether energy and fatigue is a primary issue or whether it is right up there in terms of symptoms, is a massive problem. And as you are addressing your energy issues, one of the most important things to realise, and I fall into this trap over and over again, is that your energy is like a bank account. And you can feel like you've replenished some of your funds, but you don't know where you are in your energy spectrum. Let me explain. When you're optimally healthy and you have a full current account full of energy, you're in the black. And if you have a challenge, you either training for an event, you do a race, you have some stress at work, you've got some financial stress or some relationship stress, and you borrow some of that money out of the current account, and then you replenish that energy again when that event, that stressful or challenging period is over. If you have an ongoing stress, so maybe you've had a very stressful period of time, it's left a lingering effect, or you are in a relationship that you feel that you can't separate yourself from, or maybe you have a food intolerance, like a gluten intolerance that you've never realised that you have, that will drain that energy over time. And you don't really notice the effects of that until you get right down to kind of the point where you've run out of money in your current account. That's when you start getting a note from the bank saying, oh, do you realise you're right on the overdraft line, so you better watch it because your energy's low. So you might start getting more frequent coughs and colds, you might start feeling like things are a bit more of a drag, you might feel a little bit more irritable, you might feel like you just haven't got the pep and the energy and the focus that you normally have. But the bank says, it's okay though, because you've got an overdraft facility. So you can borrow energy and that'll be fine. You can keep going, and your body is always trying to help you continue with your day. And we use things that help us borrow against that a little bit more quickly. So you've seen those adverts where they say, just phone us and we'll throw some money in your bank account. Oh, but it's got a massive interest rate and it's a short term but very quick loan. That's like having a cup of coffee or some alcohol, or just geeing yourself up to borrow some energy, but it takes you further into your bank account and it's got a big interest rate. So it's a very expensive way of using your energy. And unless, again, you're addressing that drain or doing specific things to replenish that energy, all that's happening is that you're getting further and further down. And that happens until you reach your health crash. And your health crash is when you just don't have any more. So you're either experiencing chronic fatigue, you can't function, you've got brain fog, maybe you're getting injuries or pain or inflammation, and it can manifest in a number of ways. Whether your health crash, so it can manifest as depression that you can't lift out of. It can manifest as anxiety that you can't control. It can manifest as an autoimmune condition. Any number of things that I would define as your health crash. And it's usually just overspending. And it's not necessarily, you've not racked up debt on your credit card because you've been mindful of where you spend it. Maybe you know that you live a reasonable life, you try and eat well, you exercise well, but it's those drains sometimes, the drains that are under the surface, the gluten intolerance or the chronic stress from a relationship that's nothing acute, but it's just there, that takes and takes and takes. So when you're trying to recover from your health crash, what you need to remember is that you've got a long way to go. The trap that I fall into over and over again, and many of my clients, because it's kind of the way we're built, I want to do lots of things. I'm very motivated and I have a lot of ideas. And so as soon as I get some more energy, I'm off again. I want to go to the gym and exercise as hard as I possibly can. And I want to go out and see my friends, and I want to work really hard, and I'll not say no. Oh, it doesn't matter, I'll do it over the weekend, or I'll do it in the evening, or... Boundaries are a really important part of accumulating your energy again, and you'll recognize if you're the kind of person who finds it difficult to say no. Boundaries are an essential part of self-care and contribute to this energy drain. So as you're working your way out of the energy drain, as soon as you've got more energy and somebody asks you for something, some of your energy, and you'll say yes. Maybe at the point where you're exhausted, you were like, I'm done. I'm in bed. I can't move. So many people at the point where they hit the health crash, that's when they seek my help or help someone like me. And what they learn is that they will improve their health and energy, and then they want to go off and do more stuff again. Then they think, right, come on, I've had enough of this kind of being good to myself and healing. I'm off, back to my life, full on. I'm back to giving my energy away to people and not saying no. I'm back to exercising hard. I'm back to working hard. I'm back to maybe not paying as much attention to my diet. And that slips down again. And all too soon, they're back thinking, but I was doing so well and it doesn't seem to take much at all for me to get tired again. Why is that? The reason is that because you're in your overdraft. It takes much longer to work your way carefully, consistently out of your overdraft. And then at the point where you've paid off your overdraft, you're not in debt anymore, you still, to have really good vitality and really good resistance and resilience, is to build yourself out of anywhere near your overdraft so that you've got good energy again. Remember that scenario at the start? You've got good energy, things can happen, they don't knock you, you've got a buffer zone, and you can then go back to all the healthy stuff that you do and bounce back. This is how to restore your energy, but also to be kind and patient to yourself. The deeper lesson, as I've alluded to, is that often we, certainly my dynamic, is that I will not say no as often as I need to. I am a huge driver to help and look after and save and look and rescue. And if someone needs my help, no matter what state I'm in, I will usually abandon me and then go and look after them. Boundaries are a key part of building up your energy. Boundaries are the ability to say no when you need to and to preserve your energy and know that it's your energy. Your primary responsibility, and it's a spiritual responsibility, is to you, is to yourself. When your energy is good enough that you can be the most generous, radiant, enthusiastic person in the world, but until that point, you have to be very mindful of what you're spending and know that your body is where you live. Your soul is your responsibility to nourish, and you have to start there. And it takes time. Give yourself the time, the kindness, and the compassion to rest. One lesson that we are sometimes taught by our parents or by our sports coaches or by school is that if you say, I'm tired, I need to rest, that's not okay. There's an attachment of laziness, or there's a detachment of giving up, or there's an attachment of not being resilient and not being strong. And if you're anything like me, I don't want any of those labels, and I will push myself past the point that's good for me every time. I hear trainers in the gym sometimes, and I overhear them saying the body can always do more than the mind thinks it can. And I can tear my body. I will break myself, literally tear muscles, because I just keep going. And it's important to recognize that there are some people who require motivation, and there are some people who require more compassion and more listening. And you know which one you are, because you know how often you burn out. So boundaries, kindness and compassion to yourself, and building up the energy in your bank account, which takes time. If you found this information valuable and you want to hear more from Health Crash TV, like, share the video and subscribe to my channel.